Here we go again.
This is the ErgoChair Core, also known as the MyoChair. It's the lowest offering in the ErgoChair lineup from Autonomous, and it's touted as an ergonomic chair that's comfier than your couch and much healthier than your computer chair. Let's not waste any time. I'm going to give you my honest take to find out if that's actually the case. I ordered the chair on a Monday and it arrived the following Tuesday. Not Amazon Prime level of speed, but considering the thing weighs 73 pounds in box and came from the other side of the country, it's pretty decent. Not to mention shipping this thing myself would cost just shy of $170. Assembling the chair was simple enough. It came with instructions and the necessary tools. Putting it together took me less than half an hour from opening the box to sitting on the thing. It would have been shorter too if I hadn't spent a third of that time using the wrong screws when trying to attach the metal bar to the seat bottom. So if you're a competent follower of instructions, unlike myself, you can put this thing together in less than 20 minutes. So obviously much of this review is going to be subjective. It's particular to me, how I feel with this chair, my weight, my height, everything that kind of encompasses that will depend on myself. So keep that in mind when you're watching this review. Not just my review, but other reviews out there too. It's gonna be particular to that specific person. But anyways, I will be giving away this chair and another chair. If you're interested in one of these chairs, all you have to do is comment on this video and tell me what your current setup is or why you need a chair like this. I will be choosing at random in the coming weeks, all of which was funded from the referral link I provided in my ErgoChair Pro review, and I'll be doing the same here. The link is down below, so if you're going to buy from Autonomous and use that link, you'll get a discount and I'll get the credits, and those credits will go towards future giveaways. So while we're talking about height and weight, I weigh, I think, about 200 pounds, over 200 pounds, and my height is probably about 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. So slightly bigger than average. And this chair has a weight limit of 250 pounds. 250 pounds, it doesn't seem like a lot. That doesn't seem like a huge weight limit, but that's what it is for this chair, I guess. So take it for what it is. But we're gonna look at the chair from the bottom all the way up to the top. So let's start at the bottom, and that's the casters. The casters are very basic. They look like they just come from off the shelf. They look like anything you've seen before. And that being said, they roll around fine. It's pretty smooth. I'm on a carpet and they seem to work pretty well. And the base, again, pretty basic, made of plastic, looks like it's molded. And overall, I haven't seen any issues with it in the past 2 weeks yet. From there, we have the height adjustment bar, and it has a difference of about 4 inches from bottom to top. So that's the difference in which you can change the height. I have it at max for me. So if you're a taller person, I suspect it's not really gonna be that great. I think it's gonna be a bit too short. From where I'm sitting, I'm almost square with my feet on the ground, but it's overall, it's good for me, for my height. The edge of the seat, where your legs reach there, it's about 20 inches off the floor. And from there, we have our other adjustment. There's only 2 actual levers on the base of this chair, and the second one is the back tilt. Essentially, you just pull this lever, and it's gonna unlock the back tilt, and you can lean the chair back pretty far. Specifically, I don't know what the actual degrees is. I think there's a diagram. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen there. But all being said, this is nice. This is nice. I like this. You just want to relax in front of the TV, maybe roll it out there. I've done that a few times already with this actual chair. It's been pretty nice. But it can be locked in any position that you want. You can just leave it there if you want. The thing is, when you unlock it again, it won't fly back and just smack you. What you have to do is actually lean back into it and kind of unlock it and bring it back up. Moving on up, we have the actual seat cushion itself. Seat cushion, much like the name of this chair suggests, Core, it's very basic. It's very simple. It's just a cushion. It's not hard, but it's also not really plush and soft. The material on it itself feels, honestly, a bit rough, but I mean, I'm typically wearing some kind of shorts or pants anyway, so I don't really feel it, but it doesn't scream premium in any way. As far as the comfortability of the cushion itself, I think I have a particular situation, let's say, that gives myself a nice natural pillow built into my body. I've got quite the tuckish, as you might say. So I found this comfortable. I could sit on this thing, and I have sat in it for many hours on end without issue, but much like other chairs, and like I said earlier in this video, your mileage may vary. As for the armrest, again, very basic, but they do the job. They have a nice cushion. The armrest itself, I think, could be a bit bigger, but I just like the plushness of it. It's not super squishy. It just seems to be the right amount. And when you're leaning on it, it's not uncomfortable or anything. It just gives you the right amount of cushion that it feels comfortable. It can be adjusted up and down, and that's it. It's basic. What can I say? That's what we keep saying about this chair. It's basic. Moving on from there, we have the back itself. It's made from this breathable mesh, and it's got a nice bounce to it. It feels comfortable. But again, if you were to be bare skin on it, it's much like the seat. It's not like the most comfortable material, but again, that's not necessarily the point of it. The point here is to give you support, which it does, and I guess keeps you cool, which is also nice, unlike the seat itself. It's not mesh, but you're not gonna really get a mesh seat unless you're getting a more expensive chair anyways. Built into the actual back itself, there is a lumbar support, and it's very simple. It just goes up and down, and there's no actual locking as far as I've seen and how you could lock it in place. You can just pull it up and leave it there. Now, I'm worried that if you were to do that and you needed it higher up, it might eventually just keep falling down. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. I've tried myself and I've noticed that it will move down just a bit by bit. So I can imagine after maybe over a day or a couple days, it ends up sliding down after using it for a while. But for me at least, I'm just using it at the lowest position basically. That seems to be comfortable for me. I'm not sure what other people's experience might be like. Again, I'm a bit taller than average, so I feel like most people would be having it lower down, but again, my back shape might be a bit different than other people, or they might find it more comfortable higher up, so who knows. But yeah, I just wish it was a bit more locked in and stable. But either way, it gives enough support that makes me feel like it's there and it's doing its job. I just wish it was a bit thicker to give me a bit more of a push. And while we're on the subject of that whole ergonomic and posture thing, again, they've labeled this as their ErgoChair Core, is the matter of the actual back itself in its natural tilt state. So if you actually look at me sitting on this from the side view, you'll notice like I'm not sitting upright. I'm like on the cusp of lounging. And to be honest, if I was in an airplane, this essentially would be the reclined position, I feel like almost there. Not very much, obviously, but it's not upright. And to be honest, while I was using this over the past few weeks, I found myself more just sitting upright and not actually leaning back when I'm using it. And when I'm like using my computer, it just felt more natural for me to be more upright. So I don't know if this was a malfunction with the chair. Maybe I put it together wrong. I really don't think so. I double checked there. See if the back was properly in place. It just leaned back too far, and you can't go any farther forward. I can unlock this thing, I can push it back and come back, and that's as far as it goes. And I just don't know if that's necessarily appropriate. And for the headrest, very basic. Again, it's very lightweight. It was easy to put on, but it is adjustable. It goes up and down, and it has tilt. And unlike the actual lumbar support, headrest does seem to stay in place quite well. It's more or less comfortable, but I found when you lean into it, it almost has this one tight spot in the fabric, in the mesh, where it kind of like leans into like when you push into it, it puts pressure on one specific line across the back of your neck. And I can't tell if it's uncomfortable or not. I really can't. Like, overall, I think it's good, but it's just like a minor, tiny thing that you feel, and I don't know if that's the most comfortable, but if I was gonna 1 out of 10 for a headrest, I'm gonna give it a 6. So you may have noticed that I've left one thing out of this actual chair, because that's most of the chair, but there's an optional thing. I guess there's 2 optional things. The headrest is actually optional too, but there's a leg rest on this chair. And this is not a common thing that you'll see on a chair like this. And maybe the reason I left this for the end is because this is easily my favorite thing about this chair. This leg rest I thought was going to be useless and would be tucked under there forever. But honestly, I think I've used it almost every single day. This thing is great. And this is the thing, I think, this is the thing that gives credence to that claim about this chair being an ergonomic chair that's comfier than your couch. Because this leg rest combined with the lean, oh, let's get this thing back here. Now we're laughing. I'm gonna knock my camera over. This thing's got some reach. This is a good span of like 5 feet. This thing's great. I'm just gonna stay here, guys. I'll see you later. Yeah, if you're gonna get this chair, I think you should get the leg rest. Like I said, I've used it multiple times. I've rolled this thing in the living room, playing video games with my girlfriend, and it's just been lovely. And to be honest, in my particular situation, this chair is comfier than my couch. That being said, I have an old futon, so take that as you will. So overall, what can I say about this chair? It's comfortable. The price, that's very subjective. I feel like it's getting to be a bit more expensive than I was expecting. It seems like they've been raising their prices very slowly. But overall, I think it's a good chair. It's comfortable when I'm sitting in it and I'm at my computer desk. I find I don't have any back pains or anything like that like I've had in other chairs. I don't feel like I'm always readjusting myself. The one thing I do wish was different was that, like I said before, the back was just slightly forward and I wasn't feeling like I had to just sit upright anyways, because I think the point of the chair anyways is just give you that support. And not that I wouldn't use it like this. I have used it like this sitting back a lot, and it's a comfortable position. But when I want to really engage with whatever I'm doing on the computer, if I'm doing actual work, I like to really be sitting up and being pushed forward by the chair and forced to be in that position. But it's just not there with this chair. And that's the thing I think it's lacking. So anyways, there are some issues I want to talk about other than that. One of them being the fact that the seat wobbles. This is a problem I had with their ErgoChair Pro. And I'm sure I'm going to show this in a different shot. I don't know if you can hear this over my mic, but it has this wobble in the base, between the base and the seat, or the height pole and the base. I don't know what it is, but it can be annoying. And again, it lends to it feeling cheap. Well, it's made of plastic mostly. There's a lot of mold lines in it all over the place. And I think that's the thing that kind of points to it feeling a bit cheap. Just a bit, right? But overall, it seems to be a very sturdy chair. The only thing that concerns me is that they only have a 1-year warranty. And that's very, very basic. That's very standard. If it was less, it would be concerning, very concerning. And I guess it is slightly concerning, but I just wish it was a bit longer, at least 2 years. If it was something where they had a chair and they give you, say, a 2 to 3 or more, that's when you know they're giving you a product that they believe in, they believe is going to last, right? So from my own experience using this chair and using their other chair, I think it is going to last at least more than a year. It should be several years, hopefully at least 5 years that this thing's going to be solid. But who knows? 1-year warranty is a bit of a bummer. So that brings me to another point about what they say on their website. And we talked about this in another review. I'd reviewed the ErgoChair Pro. And I'm not going to rehash all the stuff I've talked about autonomous and what I found there. Some of it I still agree with, some of it, I don't know, I'm not really sure. All of it, again, was allegedly anyways. But one of the things that I've noticed that they have changed on their website is you can't even sort by review number anymore. You can't sort by stars. So before, if you haven't seen the other video, I mentioned that they delete 1-star reviews. And you could see that. You could go sort by 1 stars and see that there were very few, or they were just deleted and the numbers didn't make any sense, right? So there was that issue. Well, now you can't even sort by stars. So again, take their reviews on the website with a grain of salt. As far as I know, they're only saving the high star reviews to keep their numbers looking good. So you're not going to see the complaints on there. The ErgoChair Core, what do I think? Overall, it's a good chair. It's comfortable. It has its issues, but it might be worth looking at in the array of chairs that are available. But anyways, please leave a like. This has been Tech Illiterate. My name is Nick. Thank you for watching. We're recording. Awesome. Good stuff. So obviously much of this review is going to be... You're already up. All right. But anyways, guys. Blah, blah, blah.
was a bad idea.